Welcome back to another episode of the Bump and Run podcast. I am your host, Ben Thompson, and as always, I'm joined by Charles Norman and Ryan Bush. And we got a packed episode here for you guys tonight. Per usual, we're going to be running down through the week 6 games, going into a little bit of fantasy football here in the second segment. And per usual, we're going to go ahead and just select a couple games here that we're going to talk about for week 7, and then we'll offer up the rest of our week 7 picks. So before we get into it tonight here, I did want to introduce our sponsor, Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch is changing the way men approach hygiene by providing all natural, high quality, healthy products that will make you feel like a man and smell like a champion. We're talking bar soaps, hair care, colognes, beard oils, and more. I've used Dr. Squatch. I can attest. They got some pretty good stuff, pretty good products. Loving the Fresh Falls soap right now. I know Bush just ordered some stuff, so we're rolling over here. But if you guys are new, go ahead and use our code DSCBRICK10 for 10% off orders of $20 or more on your first purchase. And that link will be in our description below. But let's get into it here tonight, guys. Normally we would start with the Thursday night game, but to be honest with you, I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, we didn't watch it.
No, like 12-7, Commanders beat the Bears. I mean, it's kind of what we figured was going to happen, but we'll briefly touch on it. But let's hop into one that's fresh in our minds, boys. Let's hop into that Dallas and Philly game that took place on Sunday night. Bush, you, you almost had it, man. But Dallas, Dallas didn't look bad, but Eagles were ready for you guys. So, your takeaways from the game?
Charles, good game, buddy. You guys got us. Absolutely. Look, I think the Cowboys made it interesting, especially coming back from being down 20-0. That's a pretty big hole to climb back from. But you know what? I don't feel too bad about the loss because I think the Cowboys have a lot of positives they can build on moving forward when Dak comes back healthy. And in particular, that's their ground game. That combination of Zeke and Pollard is still very lethal. I thought Zeke looked phenomenal in the second half, but I have to give a huge shout out to Cooper Rush because that guy did his job, and he did it very well. I mean, he went 4-1 as a starter when it seemed like the sky was falling after week 1. He kept us in it, man. And to be 4-2 at this point, all things considered, I mean, I couldn't ask for much more than that because I was very down on them myself. As you guys know, as our listeners know, it was very, very hard to remain optimistic about that. But Philly is the real deal. All right, I saw it for myself here. Ryan should have to say "Fly Eagles Fly" as punishment. Nah, not quite, Jerry. I can't go there. But that RPO game absolutely killed the Cowboys, and they directly attacked Micah Parsons. I think in future meetings, I think what the Cowboys are going to do with Micah, they're going to have him attack the mesh point between Hurts and the ball carrier. That was not so much what he did in this past game. He kind of froze a couple of times. But they have so many options they can run off that play. I mean, you can hit Goddard in the flat. You can hand it off to Miles Sanders. Hurts can take it. Or he hits A.J. Brown in the flat, too. I mean, they just have so many options based off that one play. So, props to Philly. That they put us away at the beginning of the fourth quarter with that touchdown drive.
Oh, yeah.
That's what did it. That was the dagger right there. So,
Charles,
props to you, buddy.
What was your take there when Jalen gave DeMarcus the little sidestep?
Yeah, you know what? I wonder if DeMarcus thinks that Jalen played somebody yet, or does he think he's good yet? Because I was just hearing today. I'm gonna skip to the end of the game when Sirianni was saying, the game, that's game, fuck you. The reason why he said that, and I found this out today, is because there were Cowboys players after y'all beat the guys who we had signed from Pizza Hut last year in week 17. Or 18. It was week 18. After y'all beat those guys and Dak's doing backflips, throwing this fifth touchdown at the end of the game, some of the Cowboys players told him that we didn't even belong on the field with them. So Sirianni's been waiting for this game, and I think the Cowboys were trying to fight at the end of the game. The only thing I would have done differently is after that little skirmish at the end of the game, I'm going to the end zone 4 times.
I saw you tweeted that.
I'm rubbing it in. Like, no, don't just cuss at them. Rub it in. Go to the end zone 4 times. Because, I mean, really, with Lane Johnson being out was a turning point in that game. But the Eagles really ended that. I mean, I know there was, that third quarter that the Cowboys had, but that wasn't enough. I mean, the Eagles, when they needed to take control of the game again, had a 7-minute drive. It was a 13 plays, 7 minutes.
Yeah.
March up the field methodically. And the one thing that I was saying about the Cowboys defense is they have not played a team that can run the ball yet. They haven't played a team with a good offensive line. Shit, for most of the game, I didn't even know that Michael Parsons was playing. Lane Johnson shut him down. And so did Mailata. Like, he was not a factor at all. What's his name? A.J. Brown, I love the touchdown that he scored. Devontae Smith scoring that touchdown. The 2-point conversion. And here's why you go for 2 right there. Because you're getting a play from the 1 yard line. If you can't get a yard, you shouldn't, you should not be playing football if you can't get a yard. And the play that they called was a read option play. Jalen made the wrong read because if he keeps the ball, it's there. It's right there for him. But that's something that, if you look back at the 2017 season, that was something that Doug Peterson actually used to do. If there was a personal foul penalty on an extra point, you go for 2 from the 1. And I don't always agree with the analytics, but the chart says go for 2 right there.
Yeah. That was something that I kind of had texted you guys, was like, I don't know about that. But, they were still, what was it? They were still up 9. So it was like.
They were up 9. I can say this. That Eagles defense is better than I thought it was. Now, third quarter, the Eagles got to get it together because I have no clue what the hell is going on with them not scoring in the third quarter and letting teams really get back into the game in the third quarter. I never felt once, and I was watching a game with a Cowboys fan, and I was like, y'all going to have a good third quarter. I told you, y'all going to have a good third quarter, but you're never going to be in control of this game. And I had my friend, like Joe, actually text me, I don't see how we're going to win this game. I was like, when they need to take back over, they will.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And they ran the ball. It was more balanced. Jalen had a big third down conversion with his legs on that, 3rd and 5 at the 50 or whatever it was, like right at midfield. And then going out for the most impressive play of that drive. People will talk about the running the ball and running. It was the throw that he made to A.J. Brown, that 21-yard reception right there that he made to A.J. Brown that set them up for that game-winning touchdown. That's something that we didn't see from Jalen Hurts last year. Him being a person to actually win the game for the team, and that's something that we're seeing a little bit more this year. So you look at the stats, he didn't do anything great, nothing jumps out for you there, but in the clutch, he was able to perform and make sure that the team won.
Yeah. And I think, Bush, for your side of things, if there's any takeaway, it's not necessarily that the Cowboys played bad football. I mean, they hung around in a divisional game, and there's a lot of your stereotypical Dallas fans are saying, well, we were still there. It's just like,
you know what? Close but no cigar, man.
Right.
You can't look at it as, we were still there. Yeah, okay, we were, but what was the outcome? That's really what you have to base it off of.
But when there was a game, you weren't there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. When it was.
You were in the game when clearly this has been a thing for the Eagles. The third quarter has been a thing for them all year, that they just don't show up. Like the second quarter, they're putting up historic numbers, which I'm sure they'll get this together. But you were able to make it a game doing the same play, that bootleg that TJ Edwards just was getting faked with every time. I did like the touchdown by that little tight end when he had the ball up there.
Oh, yeah, he practically Euro-stepped the defender.
Yeah, I like that. But Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on the Eagles, too, I thought he broke his hand, and then he comes back and catches a pick. I mean, that was 3 picks on Cooper Rush that Cooper Rush threw, and it could have been like 5 in that game yesterday.
Right.
Yeah. But this is the last thing I'll say about it. To the Cowboys fans saying, oh, you beat our backup quarterback. Shut up.
Right. Because those are the same people that,
Just so you remember, we won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, just so you know.
Right. And I was going to say, those are the same people that are going to be touting, tooting their horns next week when they play against the Lions. And, you
Maybe.
know, maybe, right. But, let's say theoretically or hypothetically things go well, that's going to be the case. You're going to be right back on Cooper Rush or Dak or whoever the hell's playing. But, Bush, yeah, like I'm saying, not, too terrible of a takeaway really from that game. Your team knew what they were going up against going in there, so that's always going to be a tough one. But we'll look forward to that Christmas Eve matchup here in a couple months from now. But Charles, before I move on, I did want to ask you if you have caught on to this or just what your thoughts are. Um, my guy Griff at work, he's a big Eagles fan, and he's been talking about how the Eagles have hardly been harboring any attention in terms of these big media outlets like ESPN or Fox Sports or CBS Sports. It's all talking about like, yeah, the Eagles are 6-0, but have you seen the Bills? Have you seen the Chiefs? And it's like, you kind of if you've been noticing that as well, you kind of gotta enjoy that a little bit. I know,
I'm okay with it.
right?
I'm okay with
You
it.
don't want to be talked about,
Let us fly on the radar. I mean, even in Philly media, that took the afternoon show and on WIP, John Marks was saying this six. They don't feel like a 6-0 team. They're not dominating anybody. And he went back to the Patriots like they used to dominate people, but the Patriots didn't dominate people like that. Even in like your 17, 16-0 year, a lot of those wins were like by 3 points. You beat the Eagles with AJ Philly by 3 points,
right?
Baltimore by 3 points, the Giants by 3 points. Like there were a lot of games that the Patriots were in that year. Did they blow people out? Yes. But they're talking about the Colts from when the Colts will go 6-0. Yeah, but the Colts will go 6-0 or 14-2 and go one and done.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so you don't
So
have to dominate the purpose of this. These guys are paid to win games. And
right.
last time I checked, they've won more than anyone in the NFL this year.
That's right. Yeah. At the end of the day, flying under the radar, you got to enjoy something like that. So, keeping things moving, let's talk about a little Patriots and Browns. I had a great time at the game this weekend. It was nice to, be somewhere where the fans weren't tearing you apart every time you took a step in the wrong direction. I know up in Buffalo it's a little bit different, but one of the things I noticed this weekend was like Browns fans didn't bring it like I thought they would. Man, they paint them out to be this rough and rowdy crew, but I wasn't hearing too much bark back this weekend. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, so. Patriots win it 38-15. Ramondre Stevenson have a day. Tyquan Thornton have a day. We'll get to him in a bit, but Bailey Zappi looked good, man. Over 300 yards. I thought he played very well. Patriots defense has looked amazing per usual, and it was awesome to see Kyle Duggar get a nice pick on the second play of the game. So Brissett was rattled. The fans were rattled. They were booing him off the field. At one point, the chants didn't become about football anymore. It was "fuck the Yankees." So uh, that was pretty interesting. But I'll toss it over to you guys for your overall takeaways from this one.
It's Zaptober. Bailey Zaptober. I mean, this guy, I'm happy for him, and it's so funny. I remember when you retweeted the tweet, the Bump and Run page retweeted the tweet it was like the weekend, the anniversary of when Brady started, when Bledsoe went down. And then that's when Mac went down, and then Zappy, who really should be 3-0 right now when you think about it, because you all should have beaten Green Bay. He's making plays. Like he's got a nice arm. He's doing a lot of good things out there. And thanks to Lamondre Stevenson, won me $250. I had him scoring 2 touchdowns in the game.
Oh, hell yeah.
He did it. So thanks.
One was in garbage time at the end there, so you cashed late.
It's like this motherfucker better do it. But yeah, I'm this is Bill Belichick. He's getting this young guy together. It doesn't have to be
Scheming
the
it up.
other offensive coaches. This is just Belichick right here.
That's right.
What'd you say?
scheming it up, scheming them
Yeah, I
open.
mean, look, the one thing that I learned from Man in the Arena, and I think I said this before, is that when Brady was younger, the way he learned, specifically, it was against Buffalo. Belichick was telling him, when people do this, when they do this on a scheme, this is what they're about to do. So one of the best ways for you to get better is to learn defense, and the best way to learn defense is from the defensive coordinator. That's what Jalen Hurts has been doing from Jonathan Gannon. I don't know how much that's helping, but I like the concept.
Hell yeah. How about the old quarterback controversy, Bush? I know they're talking about it down in Dallas, but now you got the rumblings up in New England as well.
I think there's a lot more merit to that type of conversation in New England than there is in Dallas. And again, look, if Mac Jones isn't ready, don't rush him back because Bailey Zappe has been he's been more than serviceable. I mean, look at the way he's playing right now. I mean, he threw 3 touchdown passes against Cleveland. You guys had a big win against Detroit after losing to Green Bay the week before. He's doing a nice job. He's doing a really nice job. Hunter Henry was wide open, and there wasn't a defender within 15 yards of him. And
Oh, that was amazing.
he laid a beautiful pass into him. I mean, he's doing his job, and he's doing exactly what Belichick is asking him to. He's executing the offense. It's very impressive. It really is very impressive.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man. And one thing I notice about him is, and I think I mentioned this before, but he's got good pocket awareness. He steps up, he avoids the rush, he gets rid of the ball. Mac almost sometimes when he's back there reminds me of I don't want to say Roethlisberger, but kind of waits around too long. He'll take a sack and then it's like, oh, Jesus, now it's 3rd and 16 or something, and it's like, damn, But one thing that I kind of took away was Patriots were bad with the penalties this weekend. You had multiple false starts, and I can say that the crowd was not affecting that. That was something that had to do with preparation and execution because it was not loud in that place. I mean, 3rd downs, you could have heard a fucking pin hit the floor. So, I mean, it was, just a tough look. You had some holding calls. I think at one point in the first half, they had like 8 penalties. So, you got to clean that kind of shit up. But nonetheless, we all picked the Patriots and they came out with a dub just as I had hoped they would. So let's keep it moving. Let's talk a little bit of Bills and Chiefs, man. What a crazy game that was as well. I thought it was crazy that Tony Romo actually predicted the final score, like, just nonchalantly in the broadcast. He said, this feels like a 24-20 game, Jim. And sure enough, Bills win it on a Dawson Knox late touchdown with about 1:17 left or something like that. You see the touchdown get scored and you're like, oh, here comes Mahomes. Like, what magic is he going to pull this time? But goes out and throws a pick on that ensuing drive. So you guys takeaways from this game, Charles?
I thought it was a really good game. It was a little. I thought the first 2 drives the offenses were running up and down the field for majority of the game, and the defenses kind of settled in. It's like a bend but don't break type of game for the defenses. I think this is a game that we'll probably see again for the AFC Championship, and I think you two were talking about it last week. The game's always in Kansas City at Jiha at Arrowhead Stadium. It might be in Buffalo this year, and let's see how that goes for old Patty Mahomes and Andy Reid and the gang up there. It was a close game, but I still think at the same time last year Buffalo, I think, beat them by like 10 points last year at Arrowhead, and then come playoff time, it was a different story. So I was interested in this game, but I'm like, I can't wait for it again. That's where I'm at with it.
Right. Yeah, because you're going to see it again.
Yeah, like this is the preview. It's like, you get a little preview, get a little sample, and then
Yeah.
this is the appetizer, and then the real meal is coming.
Right. To me, it was just one of those games you couldn't really look away from. I mean, I was driving back from Cleveland, and I get home, catch the late third quarter, all of the fourth quarter, and it's like, I kind of set my phone down. No, normally I'm like scrolling Twitter on Sundays, but and I'm looking at I'm watching that game, man. It's just one that I knew if I took my eyes away from it, Josh Allen's gonna hurdle somebody else, or and something big is gonna happen. So, Bush, your overall takeaway from this one, man.
Like I said going into it all along, I just felt like the Bills were really ready to come out and make a statement win. But you guys are right. We're going to see these two again in January. I don't think there's any question about it. The game-changing drive in that game was in the 2-minute drill before the half for the Bills. Josh Allen, literally in the shadow of his own goalpost on 3rd and 13, slinging that pass to Gabe Davis for a first down. I mean, that was just incredible. And then from there, he just executed the offense. Kansas City came at them with a few different blitz combinations, and Josh Allen literally threw right into those blitzes and picked up some timely first downs. And then he capped it off with that beautiful rainbow pass to Gabe Davis. I mean, they have a real number 2 in Gabe Davis. He's one of the best deep threats in the league already. But I think that really changed the game for them right there.
My breakout player of the year.
I was just about to say that, and we're not going to touch on this game in depth, but even Brandon Ayuk was on there too for you, and he comes away with 2 touchdowns this weekend as well. So
he was on there for Bush, right?
No, he was on.
Yeah,
Bush.
He was on there for me.
But you had Najee, I think, and he scored. So
yeah,
I mean, we're all kind of right there, but yeah, I'm looking forward to these guys meeting in the playoffs again. It's inevitable. So, we'll leave it at that for now. But just to kind of round out the week 6 games that we're highlighting here, I guess we could talk a little bit about the Vikings and Dolphins. I know we had highlighted that one towards the end of the first segment last week. The Vikings are, like I said, quietly 4-1, now 5-1 after a win down in Miami, which is huge. It's always tough to play down there. So, they showed the thermometer. It was like 120 degrees on the Vikings sidelines, but like 80 degrees on the Dolphins. So, tough conditions down there. But Bridgewater, goes for 300, but throws 2 picks. So, that left the door open for Kirk Cousins and that Vikings offense to thrive. I thought, Kevin O'Connell did another great job this week with, his offensive scheme and, having those guys prepared. So, Bush, what was your takeaway from this one as the Vikings win it 24-16?
Yeah, I mean, not a necessarily exciting game by any means, but the Vikings are doing what they have to do. They're very quietly 5-1. One of the best teams in the NFC right now. They're doing their job. I think Kirk Cousins is doing a really, really good job of protecting the ball and not turning it over like he's notorious for doing. Dalvin Cook had a very nice 50-plus yard touchdown run as well. They're a very balanced offense, and I think they're getting their strengths utilized all across the board. Justin Jefferson did his thing. Thielen had a touchdown catch. Dalvin Cook looked like himself. I mean, it's a good win for the Vikings. They're going to need everything. They're going to need every win that they can get coming their way because things are a little awry in Green Bay right now, but you can never count out Aaron Rodgers. So it's important that they get everything they can up until that second meeting.
Right. Well, I think Packers have some work to do. So
you both picked the Vikings to win that division, right? I know Bush, you did for sure, but Ben, did you too?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's looking good.
You're right. Yeah, you're right on brand. I don't think Green Bay's going to get it together.
I don't either.
Unless, they have to sign Odell or trade for DJ Moore or something like that because they don't. There's nothing for him to throw it to. But
right. Yeah. So a big thing for the Dolphins this weekend was the loss of Teron Armstead. I mean, that dude is a huge piece of any offensive line, and he let up, or his backup rather, let up some quarterback pressures and just some shit that wouldn't have happened if Armstead was in. The Thompson kid started the game, but he ultimately went out with an injury. And, Bridgewater came back in after being concussed. This is like 4 straight weeks of Miami quarterbacks getting injured. So it's just like, they've had some tough luck lately, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and pull up those week 6 finals, get a grand look here. Some other games we haven't talked about were Falcons over the Niners, 28-14. Falcons capitalized off of those Niners turnovers, if you will. Kyle Pitts, I thought it was crazy, looking back at this one, only scoring his second career touchdown in 22 games. So a little strange there. Jets win 27-10 over the Packers. And, just what we just said, the Packers have had poor offensive output, can't get anything together. And, you're looking at it now with the Packers being 3-3, they're one loss away from tying their tally from last year. So tough look for them. One thing that I kind of thought looking back on this game was they kind of had visions of last year's divisional game with the special teams blunders. You had a block punt, a block field goal. So that's been a problem for the Packers over the last few years. But Colts get it done 34-27 over the Jags. Alec Pierce gets a touchdown with 17 seconds left. And Matt Ryan goes for 389 and moves into 7th all-time on passing yards. Bengals get it done over the Saints with a late comeback. Burrow and Chase down in the Bayou. They made it happen, man. They hung around there with the Saints. It was a close game all along, But Saints have they got some questions to answer and some voids to fill here as the season rolls along. And how about those Giants? Bush rolls with the Giants again, and they get it done over the Ravens 24-20. And they seem to be for real. I know I texted you guys. I was like, look, are the Giants literally for real? Like, am I missing something? And Bush said, no, man, they're for real. So they get it done, move to 5-1. Steelers, this was the upset of the weekend. Steelers get it done 20-18 over the Bucks. Bucks offense looks kind of like the Packers does right now. I mean, they're kind of out of sync, and they get into the red zone, they can't finish drives. They're taking field goals. It just doesn't look like a Brady-led offense. You see him berating his guys on the sidelines, and just seemed to be one of those games, if you will. So Rams get it done 24-10 over the Panthers. Seahawks 19, Cardinals 9. Props to you guys for going Seahawks there. I went with the Cards and it burned me. But Bush, you had a hell of a week, and we'll get those up here in a second. But Chargers finish off the weekend with a 19-16 win in overtime over the Broncos. I got to ask, do you guys think Nathaniel Hackett has lost the locker room?
I don't think he ever had a locker room.
Yeah, I don't know about him either, if you want me to be completely honest.
I don't know if
he just I don't know I didn't know who he was prior to Denver even signing him as their head coach. I think he was Green Bay's offensive coordinator.
He was Green Bay's offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I knew who he was.
Know.
I want to correct myself. I think he lost the locker room after week 1. When they let, 40 seconds run off the clock?
Yep.
Instead of, what was it, 4th and it was like 4th and left.
It was 4th and 5. It was very manageable, especially in that situation.
So instead of kicking, you're not in Denver. Why are you kicking a 60+ yard field goal? Which McManus, like you said, Bush, and I have looked at it since then. While it was wide, I think left or whatever, he had the leg, but you don't want to put your kicker in that position.
Especially not when you're paying Russell Wilson $265 million.
And I think that's what's also losing the locker room, that this guy's getting paid $250 million and he's not performing.
That was my next question.
But he's performing how he has performed for the last couple of years.
It's been just good enough to just get by,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's the reason why Pete Carroll's like, okay, goodbye.
Right. Yeah, you haven't seen sustained success.
I don't see Hackett there next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are just too dysfunctional, in my opinion. Receivers running the wrong routes, timing's off in the passing game. There's not enough spacing between the routes and their concepts. It's just something. It's not right. And then Melvin, and then you guys saw what happened with Melvin Gordon during the game too.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it looks like he slid down to third string on the depth chart. I mean,
yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't watch the game. I texted y'all Broncos country, let's ride. I texted y'all that because I just so happened to see the score. The game was on out in my living room. I was in the room watching TV, and then y'all know I fall asleep. I didn't even know who won until I watched Skip and Shannon today.
Yeah, I only turned it on late too. I just wanted to catch the final drive, which of course led into overtime there. But yeah, and Aikman, Charles, you didn't watch it, so you didn't hear it. But Bush, Aikman, he's been on Russ. He's been, his criticism of Russ has been,
he's telling it how it is.
He is, yeah.
I mean,
rightfully so. But yeah, tough look for the Broncos.
He should be on Russ. Everybody should be on Russ. He's getting paid over $250 million.
Right. Well, have you seen Orlando Franklin's tweets? I mean, he's a former offensive lineman for the Broncos, and he's tweeting shit out like, "Man, this is bullshit." Like,
Sharp saying it too. I mean,
yep, yeah. Your former Broncos are watching this mess.
Shannon Sharp, I do want to say something. Shannon Sharp did put something cool out there. I mean, something to think about out there earlier today. Hackett's obviously gone. Does Sean Payton want to go there and try to fix this thing? They got some weapons there.
See, I don't just think it's Nathaniel Hackett, though. I think a lot of it's Russell Wilson and his ego. So Richard Sherman had Marshawn Lynch on his podcast. I was either today or yesterday, and I'm sure you saw this, Charles. Ben, did you see this?
No, I don't.
So
I'll send you this video that he's talking about because I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, and I think it just speaks to the type of person Russell Wilson is. Marshawn Lynch basically said that in order for him to get into contact with Russell Wilson, he needs to go through Russ's personal agent or his manager just to be able to talk to him. He can't reach him directly. Now, if that's not an indication that Russ is walking around acting like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, then I don't know what is. I mean, he's just seen. I think his teammates are getting tired of his shtick. I swear, it's unbelievable. And you see, it's coming up with his former teammates in Seattle. So I don't know, man. Something's up with that dude. He's corny as all hell.
He is.
He
and
really
you know what?
is, man.
And you're getting paid all that money.
Clip that. God damn.
It's weird. He's weird. Yeah. He's not playing well. He hasn't played well for a long time. And then Marshawn Lynch saying it. And when Marshawn Lynch put it simply, that's my boy. But if I gotta call people, if I can't get you directly, I ain't gonna get you. I'm not gonna reach out to you. He didn't say it like that. He said some more colorful language. Yeah. But it just opens your eyes up about Russell Wilson. So
completely agreed, Charles.
Yeah. But I think Sean Payton would, Nathaniel Hackett's a first-time head coach. Sean Payton's been around the block. He's won the Super Bowl. He's coached a Hall of Famer. Does Drew Brees even make the Hall of Fame without Sean Payton? We don't know. He wasn't having that type of a career out in San Diego. His shoulder was messed up when he got to Sean Payton, and they created something good. So he won't be able to run over Sean Payton the way that he's able to do the people, Nathaniel Hackett, even the way he was able to do Pete Carroll.
My oh my, they got a problem on their hands out there in Denver. So we will see how that continues to unfold here week to week. But let's go ahead and throw up those pick'em standings. Bush, welcome in between Charles and I, back on top of things here. You made up a couple games and you had a hell of a week, man. I got to give it to you.
Oh, so, yeah. I mean,
you did.
I'm very happy to be 9 games over 500 at this point. You just go with how you feel. And, you both made a really good point. Now we're starting to figure out how teams are playing. So it makes predictions a little bit more easy, I suppose. But, yeah, we're all over 500, so I think we know what we're talking about to some extent.
Yeah, right.
I had a rough week. I
you knew. You knew the Bears weren't winning that shit. You that to offset shit.
Yeah, but that's not for public knowledge. Because then we have to say the other part of that, and we don't want to say that.
No,
That's
no,
true.
we cannot reveal that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, congrats!
God.
Your Yankees are going to the ALCS. Congratulations!
Yes, they are. Thank you, buddy. Maybe we'll see you in
And
the
you might
series.
see, just this is off topic, but Joe's put in Bryce baby, and you might have saw me celebrating. Bryce Harper hit a home run, so we're up 1-0.
Nice.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
so did
Oh, boy.
Stanton and Judge because, you got that short porch out and right at Yankee
Oh my
Stadium.
God, this
so-
guy's been bitching about this the whole series. He knows
But-
he has to.
Anyway, let's move forward. Let's talk a little fantasy football here. We'll get into some waiver wire pickups, some booms and busts. I think all of us got a couple of guys that we want to talk about here, but I'll kind of just go with a couple waiver wire pickups that you guys might want to be looking into here as the season continues to unfold. If you're in trouble quarterback wise, if you've had guys like Tua or Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo, and I've had all of them on my damn team, and it's been a whirlwind so far. And I think if you're looking for somebody, you might want to look into a guy like Trevor Lawrence, and dare I say Daniel Jones. I mean, Daniel Jones hasn't looked terrible. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
Charles, go ahead.
In one of my leagues, I have 2 quarterbacks on my roster. And one of them I just, picked up before this week. Aaron Rodgers is one, and Geno Smith is the other.
I had Geno Smith too.
Can you guess which one of those I started this week?
I know
I
who
won
you
the
started.
game, by the way, so it wasn't Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, what's crazy is I in our work fantasy league, I traded with Mike this week. I had Geno Smith on my roster, and he has Lockett, and he's like, man, and what do you want for Geno Smith? I really want to get the stack, and and I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, did you ever think come week 6 of this NFL season you're going to be sitting here chatting with me, telling me to trade you Geno Smith? Like, what the hell are we talking about here? So, yeah,
It's crazy how these things work out. Man.
It is, man. And then you look at, like you said, Bush. You kind of hit it there with Melvin Gordon. Everybody was high on him whenever Javonte Williams went down, but he's kind of slipped a little bit, man. And then you had people grabbing Mike Boone and Latavius Murray. It's a bit of a mess out there at the running back position in Denver as well. So,
yeah, it's a whole carousel. I mean,
right. And I think if anything, if you are going to take a running back there, I think Latavius Murray is going to be the guy. Gordon just simply not cutting it, getting benched. He's known for fumbling and things like that. But if you're looking for running back and you're weak at that position, I might even look into Kenyan Drake. Did you see how he produced this past weekend? I think with J.K. Dobbins not necessarily being fully healthy, he's been kind of a bust that I have on my list. So, I have him in my work league, and somebody was interested in a trade a couple weeks ago, and I just didn't pull the trigger because I was high off of that game that he had against the Bills. And then, now here I am a few weeks later, and I'm like, no one wants this guy. Like, no one wants him off my roster. Nobody wants to trade for him now. We were at one point talking about potentially trading Dobbins for Najee Harris straight up. And, I'm like, I don't know about that. So it's just like, I should have went through with it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think another guy we haven't mentioned yet as far as busts are concerned, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, it's no fault of his own. He's been injured the past couple of games, but even to start the season off, he hasn't necessarily lit it up. And I didn't mention this, but I had a suspicion about that going into this season, because I feel like we see so many of these guys who have.
You mentioned it. You mentioned it. We talked about it. Because,
yeah, you did.
This year last year. We all mentioned
what?
it. Yeah,
I did. You're right.
We did. We all mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just highly suspicious of guys who have a breakout year out of nowhere, and then are expected to stay just as consistent the next year? Because it usually doesn't pan out. I mean, there's so many different guys you can look at. Chris Johnson. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Right. Yeah, I think everybody who passed up on him and took Cooper Cup, not Rush, Cooper Cup instead, it's been paying off because they keep going to him time after time after time every week. It seems like he's getting at least 17 plus points. Charles, how about a receiver that you think you might want to pick up, or one that you might be dropping this week?
So I just dropped Drake Landon, literally just now.
Just now, as the podcast is going.
Just now, because I went and picked up Kenyan Drake in this league because you told me to.
Oh, okay.
I should have listened to that.
I should say the Philly Johns are looking rough, as are the armed robberies.
I won this week. Thanks, Jenna.
Yeah, she had a rough go this week, man.
Bush, have you won yet?
No, I haven't, and it's horrible. This league is awful.
0-6. I'm looking because Ben was projected to be the number 1 team. I was projected to be number 3,
and I'm 3-3.
You're 3-3.
Yep.
So I'll be 2-4 after this week.
My team just sucks, man. I mean, I'm looking at literally every score prediction from each week and how it's turned out, and it's the exact opposite.
Seriously,
how do you get anything done with this type of luck? It's just terrible.
So I'm like logging into our league now because it was not.
Yeah, I that was another thing that kind of went around the group chat here in my work league. Everybody was like all up in arms that Raddick had dropped Drake London, and everybody's like scrambling to get this guy, and it's just like, you don't want any part of that Falcons offense right now, man. I mean,
because it's not, and he did give me a 24-point game.
Oh yeah, he did he had one good one, but outside of that, man, that whole offense, and people are saying that Mariota might be a good streaming option this week, and I'm just like, I'm staying away from that one.
They're playing the Bucs this week. Finicky. No, they're not playing the Bucs. They're playing.
I got it right here.
I did not pick them. They're playing the.
Let's see.
Cincy.
Bengals.
Yep.
Actually, that's one game I'm undecided on. But yeah. You guys know I don't believe in the Bengals anyway.
Right.
Oh wow! I almost doubled Jenna's points.
Right.
She's 4-2.
Yeah, she's 4-2, and one of her losses is by like half a point to her dad, who's 5-0. So.
Yeah.
But
damn, armed Rodgery.
Yeah, bro.
Armed Rodgery's looking rough this year.
I mean, there is no shot we're coming back from this.
Well,
we're gonna pack our bags.
If you do, Bush, let's hope that you don't have a monumental collapse like you did last season. So.
Oh, that was another brutal way to end the fantasy year.
But a couple of receivers I'm looking at are Tyquan Thornton from the Patriots. He, like I said, he had a great week. And I think that he had great potential coming into the season. Had it not been for a little setback there in the preseason, having to go to the PUP list or the IR, I can't remember which one it was, but happy to have him back, rocking that Julian Edelman 11. He looked good this weekend, so he might be a guy that you want to look at. Same with Alec Pierce from the Colts. He's kind of stepping up as like that number 2 guy in Indy. Charles.
I'm looking at Eno Benjamin for a flex running back there. So I picked him up in a couple of leagues. The way he played against the Eagles was really good. And then they're down a couple of running backs there in Arizona. They may be a little bit healthier, but he's got that. He complements what's that guy's name?
James Conner.
Oh, Kyler.
Yeah. Kyler.
Well, where I was going to say is like, even with James Conner, I have him in our league, and, I actually traded for him a few weeks ago, and it's like, is this dude going to fucking play, or is he going to be hurt every damn week?
It's disappointing.
Well, he was hurt. He got hurt in the Eagles game.
Yep.
We fucked him up.
And
another name I want to go ahead, Ben.
I was just going to say, he's been a perennial, injury risk.
Oh yeah.
So if you have him on your team, you just know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, the James Conner is very, very hit or miss. But another name, Brian Robinson, the running back for the Commanders. He got me 12 points in another league.
Yeah.
And, all right, he wasn't lighting the world on fire, but still, I think he's looking like RB1.
And he is RB1, and he was going to be RB1. And let me just I'd like to give him a shout out because, he did win the starting job in the preseason, and then he was held up and shot. They tried to carjack him not too far away from where I live at now. I am giving him so many props and so much, kudos for even being able to play right now because he was shot.
Yeah, it's
Twice.
And it's unfortunate.
Unreal.
It's stupid. And this is a message to those people who are like robbing people and trying to take their cars. Cut that shit out. This guy, I'm rooting for him hard. He came out to his first game back. He came out to the instrumental of Many Men by 50 Cent. And
I love
50
that.
Cent was shot.
That gave me the
times.
goosebumps, man. Oh,
And I really, this is a kid. I call him a kid because I'm older than him. Isn't that crazy? We're older than players now.
I know,
we are.
man.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh
it's
my God.
ridiculous. These
I
guys
won't call
are
him
21, 22. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
I'm older than Jalen Hurts. I really admire him being able to get himself back together because he was shot in his leg, if I'm not mistaken, and being
Yes.
able to play. So I'm rooting for him hard. It's a division opponent. He plays for absolutely shitty organization, but I am rooting for him hard. And Brian Robinson is somebody that I was going to say too, Bush.
Oh, yeah. Make that the trifecta because I was going to mention him as well. But as far as tight ends, Bush, I don't know if you have been reading up on Daniel Bellinger or if
Oh, yeah. That was a name I was just about to mention because he's looking very good for the Giants thus far.
Yeah, man.
Darren Waller's a guy you could even mention as a bust so far this year. I mean,
a big fucking bust.
Oh God, I have
George
him in our
Kittle
league.
too.
Yeah, Kittle as well.
Go ahead.
But again, fantasy is so unpredictable.
Schultz.
Yeah, another one who just can't stay on the field. But Jake Ferguson was probably a very good pickup for a lot of people last week. So, it's again, like we talk about, it's so unpredictable. Guys get hurt. They don't perform the same as they did the year before. It's an ever-changing league. And this is why people hate fantasy football because they just get fucked over so badly.
Right. And before we move on, let me just say, do not, and you heard it here first, do not scramble to pick up Robbie Anderson just because he's going out to Arizona
Who's
to
gonna
join
throw
up
the
with
ball?
the Cardinals. Exactly.
Right.
I know DeAndre Hopkins is coming back, the couple nights from now. He's going to be back.
I want to change my pick. I forgot.
Oh, he's going to change it.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I know he's coming back. He's going to command some of the, the snap share and, some of the targets and things like that. We've mentioned it many times on here. He makes that Cardinals offense better. And when he's not there, it. I think with, Hollywood Brown going down here for, several weeks here with his latest injury, it's, it's going to be, a little unclear as to how things are going to be handled there with that Cardinals offense. I think they're going to go to Hopkins a lot, but, I wouldn't rush to get Robbie Anderson or trade for him or anything like that. Just kind of hold off, see how things go, and play it from there. But, if you got Brees Hall as well, if you have Brees Hall on your team, solid pick for having the balls to take a rookie. I know, expectations were high for him, and this kid's meeting every one of them. So
I lost a game to Brees Hall this weekend.
As did I. The guy I was playing had Brees Hall and Devin Singletary both, and they both had amazing games. So That's
why I beat Jenna that way, because I got Devin Singletary in our league.
Yeah, and he was a bust last year, but now he
wasn't doing that great this year either.
Right, but he's starting to get more carries and starting to get a little bit more involved. I think I mentioned it before, but when I went to the Monday night game last year, you hear the Bills fans grumbling, saying, like, why are we not giving it to Singletary? Like, just the kid can produce. Just give him a chance. So, we'll see how that continues to unfold. But let's get into some Thursday night football here. Charles just changed his pick, but
No, I'll stay with the Saints. Don't worry.
No, you can change it if you want to, man.
No,
but
I'm gonna stay with the Saints. I didn't write it down on my
purposes.
paper. I still got Saints up here.
So you knew when I was making this graphic, I was like, I am not putting Kyler Murray up there because fuck him.
Bush will fucking kill him.
Yep.
God.
And then I was sitting there. I'm like, normally we put quarterbacks up here, but I put a receiver up there, and why not throw Olave up there? So
absolutely, I think that was an excellent choice for that graphic.
Hell yeah! So we got Saints traveling out to the University of Phoenix Stadium, as you guys didn't know it to be. It is now.
When I knew it,
it's not the University of Phoenix Stadium anymore,
Yeah.
Bush. I mean,
that's right.
That's what we thought it was. We thought it was University of Phoenix.
We were struggling to. We had to ad lib there for a couple of seconds, but we just couldn't figure it out. We were like,
what's the name of the stadium?
State Farm Stadium.
State Farm.
It was eating me alive when I was busy doing, getting the. I'm listening to you guys. I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
You won and lost the Super Bowl in that stadium. You should know it.
Oh yeah,
And the Eagles have never won in that stadium until this year, and they'll win one more in there, I think.
Oh yeah, that's where the Super Bowl is this year. So, but anyway, Cardinals Saints Thursday night football. Maybe we'll see more than 20 points on the board this week. It's Cardinals favored by 1.5. Although we are all taking Saints. Bush, your take on this game, and why are you rolling with the Saints this week, man?
The Saints have had a pretty good last couple of weeks offensively, and I like what they're putting together. Defense is still a little shaky, but the Cardinal. We're talking about Denver being dysfunctional offensively, and there's absolutely a lot of truth to that. But man, so are the Cardinals. I mean, they went up against the Seahawks defense last week. That was one of the worst in the league, and they only put up 9 points. So, yeah, all right, DeAndre Hopkins is coming back, and that's all good and dandy. But, is he going to be rusty? Will he know the playbook as well? I'm sure that won't be an issue, but, teams do tend to change things schematically from season to season. And he's been out the first 6 games of the year. So I think there's too many question marks there as far as that's concerned to take the Cardinals. I think the Saints are a safe bet. But, again, that's why they play the games. We'll see what happens.
His coaches ain't smart enough to change the scheme or
Yeah.
the playbook. Look, let me tell you something. Kyler Murray is the only one that needs to be studying. Cliff Kingsbury needs to study his ass back to Texas Tech, take a class or two. So,
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I think the reason I'm going Saints is just because I got burned on the Cardinals last week, and I don't want it to happen again. So
I think So I'm rooting for the Cardinals because we have the Saints first round pick.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. We can't forget about that.
So listen, I'll give more insight to this here in a moment, but I know we're a live show here, and we gotta update things as they come out. But did you guys just get the notification that I just got? Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft have heated exchange amid Goodell contract discussion.
No way. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well,
oh yeah. Don't mess with me.
No, he told Kraft, "Don't fuck with me."
So here's the thing. Robert Kraft might have 6 rings, but Jerry Jones, after Al Davis and Ralph Wilson are gone, is the owner of all owners.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck with Jerry. He said, "Don't fuck with me," and he ain't playing. Because there will be a lot of shit that comes out about Robert Kraft that we don't know about.
You got to be. Can you guys just imagine 80-year-old Jerry Jones and 70-something-year-old Robert Kraft?
You know what? These geriatric fucks need to go back to the booths and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Kraft responded, "Excuse me?" to which Jones said, "Don't mess with me."
He said, "Don't mess with me or don't fuck with me."
Well, that was first, and then the
That was
"excuse me,"
originally.
and then the "don't mess with me."
Because I'm pretty sure Jerry wants his Rodgers contract to be extended, which is weird. And I'm
Yeah.
I don't know if Jerry wants it extended or not, but I'm guessing here. But Rodgers said this contract was going to be his last.
Yes. But
I don't
how
know if y'all
long does
heard
that
that.
go for? Yeah.
I think he's done in 2023 or 4. I mean,
Okay.
I'm still listening. I'm just going to look it up.
Right.
I know one of the things Goodell requested in that contract extension. I think he wanted life insurance from the NFL for his family for the rest of his life, the health insurance and all that other stuff. And he wants to be flown privately for the rest of his life as well. I think those were two requests he had. So we'll see if he gets it.
So it's 2024. I thought he's done in March of 2024, but he was supposed to be done. He literally said the last time when they extended it that it would be his last contract. So I know people hate Roger Goodell. I'm one of the people who talk shit about. Let's go.
What do the Phillies do, Charles? Oh,
Kyle
man.
Schwarber. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Bless you. Thank you.
Oh my God.
But I told you this is during an LCS. But what's Roger Goodell said he would be done. Oh, I said it already. I am okay with Roger Goodell being the commissioner. Because we can say all the bad shit that's happened with football, yeah. But football he has taken football to an all-time. It's the all-time sport. The sport I'm watching now, baseball, was the all-time sport. Roger Goodell has buried that shit. Paul Tagliabue started it. Football. Look at the rights for the gaming rights for the TV deals. They weren't getting no shit like that before Roger. You got preseason games. Preseason games are rate higher than this game that I'm watching right now, the NLCS game. Preseason games rated higher than the NBA Finals games. And that's got to do with Roger. To protect the shield, he does a lot of crazy, dirty, dumb shit. But football wouldn't be football. Football wouldn't be what it is right now without him.
Right. And the owners seem to like him because this is all stemming from a what was a 31-1 vote, and I can only assume that one was Robert Kraft. So
what? Yeah. And you know why?
He doesn't want him.
That's very interesting.
Well,
wow.
he thinks so. It goes back to Roger suspending Brady. Roger was the commissioner when Spygate was found, but Roger wasn't the commissioner when it was actually happening. That was Tagliabue, but Roger had to do something about it. But I do think if you are on Robert Kraft's team, Belichick got a heftier fine than the Saints did with. I'm talking about money-wise. The Saints did with Bountygate, and Bountygate's, Greg Williams probably shouldn't have been coaching in the league anymore after that. Although I love that type of coaching, you find a player, knock him out. He shouldn't let him leave on a stretcher. The Patriots have been targeted by Roger Goodell, rightfully so in some cases. Although the Ted Wells report did not warrant a 4-game suspension, and I will die on that hill.
So actually, right, and believe me, I wholeheartedly agree with that. But I'm looking into the article a little bit further here from Seth Wickersham, and it was actually Jerry Jones was the oddball out of everything. Kraft was
really
in the majority of strong support to open negotiations for a new contract for Roger Goodell. So Jerry is the one, he's not part of that 31.
That's interesting to me. And
I
wonder if
you know what it is. It's the Zeke. Jerry's favorite player on your team.
Right out of my mouth.
Jerry's favorite player on your team is Zeke, and that suspension that probably should not have happened.
Zeke got railroaded there.
Jerry didn't let that shit go.
No,
but I could also see why Robert Kraft would have been the no vote. because they did target the Patriots.
Oh yeah,
you could see either one of them being an option for that. But I think now that makes sense. Jerry's sticking up for his prized running back who had a rough start to his career because of this. And I'm not saying Zeke was completely innocent, but damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
I would not have known that until after the show.
Crazy, yeah. So more will definitely unfold with that, and we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on that. But all kinds of owner stuff coming out this week. I think even Jim Irsay had just mentioned earlier this afternoon that there is merit to get rid of Dan Snyder and force him to sell the Commanders. We're not going to dive into that as much as I'd like to. We've already spent too much time on that. But go ahead, Charles.
But I think we should talk about just a little bit. Because did we talk about him, the article that we talked about?
No, we have yet to
talk.
No,
but we need to dedicate an episode to discuss.
Let's save it for next week.
Yeah,
let's save it for next week. And I'll leave it there.
Okay. Yep. So that's what we'll plan for next week. But I think we basically said what we had to for the Thursday night game. We're all rolling with the Saints here again. So we'll see what happens here. It's early. It's a Tuesday. We've mentioned this before on our Tuesday shows that it's kind of tough to pick these next couple games. But let's go ahead and get into the Cowboys and Lions. Excuse me. Cowboys are favored by 7 at home, taking on those Lions. Bush, I would believe you're backing your boys this week.
Yeah, you one would imagine. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Cowboys this week. If all goes according to plan, Dak will be back. And now here's where we really got to turn things around and put the pedal to the metal. Detroit's 1-4, but they're not a bad 1-4 team, if that makes any sense. I don't think they're meant to be taken lightly, but I do think the Cowboys are the better team, so I'll take them.
Yeah. Charles, I know you like to give the Cowboys shit, but I can't help but think you're rolling with them again.
Yeah, I wrote them Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
Cowboy.
I hate
Roger.
the way he talks.
Raj. Hey, Raj.
Hey, Raj. He ain't coming back here, boy.
You don't.
He's so embarrassed.
You don't mess with Ezekiel.
But that's his favorite player on the team. If you go back,
by far,
and you can tell that they have a genuine relationship. Sorry to keep us going here, because if you look at Hard Knocks, and Zeke was up there signing autographs, and Jerry said, "Hey, boy, get your ass down here on the field." and Zeke's laughing because they got that relationship. Zeke was out there doing some crazy shit on them boats, but Jerry out there doing crazy shit with the hookers, so they aligned.
It only makes sense that he's his favorite, right?
Right.
I don't blame if I had $1 billion, I'll be out there crazy too. And so would y'all.
I'm rolling Cowboys as well. We'll make that
wait, man. At 80 years old, you out there.
I can't. I still can't believe he's that active. If you want me to be honest with you,
I can. Viagra and money. Viagra and money.
Yeah.
Well,
lethal combination.
Kraft just got married this past week as well to a
40-something-year-old,
46-year-old woman or something like that.
Yeah,
and I love the lineup of performers for the wedding. It was
Elton John, Ed Sheeran,
Bon Jovi, and Meek Mill.
God.
But did you know that they had the wedding on that day because it was the only time that Elton John was free to play, because he's on his farewell tour.
Right.
He's on farewell tour.
Park. Amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
Brady was there too instead of studying for Pittsburgh.
And Belichick wasn't.
That's right.
Yep. What does that tell you?
Right. Well, I did enjoy seeing the photos. You see all the past guys there, Randy Moss, Seymour, Will Fork. It was cool. Bledsoe
Absolutely.
and Brady sharing a drink back there in the background. But nonetheless, let's keep it moving here. Let's talk a little bit of Giants and Jaguars, man. The Giants, like we mentioned, seem for real, but Jaguars are favored by 3 at home here this weekend. So, Charles, your take on this one, man?
I don't know how the Jaguars are favorite, and I do think I think the Jaguars will win the AFC South in the future, and we said this before, and possibly this year. But the Giants are playing some opportunistic football.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I won't say lucky because I don't believe in luck. I think luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and opportunistic is the opportunity. They're meeting it there. And shout out to my girl Tony Marshall. She watches the show. Someone I went to school with for years. Actually, middle school and high school and elementary school together. She's a Giants fan. I'm gonna pick the Giants, not just for her, because I do believe in this team right now.
And I cannot help but think that Bush, you're gonna roll Giants yet again.
Of course I am. Absolutely. Yeah, I just think that interior defensive line is slowly but surely becoming one of the best in the league. They have an excellent secondary. I mean, look at what they did to Lamar last week. And Charles, you're right. It's not just luck. They're the real deal. And I don't know how the Jaguars are favored here, but then again, I'm not an odds maker.
Well, they're home, so the home.
Yeah, but still.
And it's close to being a pick'em because you get 3 points as a home team, and then there's so.
Give me the Jags and the points. Moving on. I got to differentiate from you guys.
Vince said Dougie P.
Let's go, Doug. Let's go.
Basically.
I'm rooting for Doug every week.
So, how about Chiefs and Niners? This is this is also a 3-point game. It's in San Jose as the Niners play just outside of San Francisco. Fun fact. But are we rolling Chiefs or Niners this weekend, boys?
Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to take Kansas City as well here. The Niners are such a difficult team to figure out because they look really good one week, and then they have a mind-boggling loss. It's crazy.
And I'm going to tell you what the Niners is. It's not too far. It's not far enough in the season for them yet. They'll start winning some games that you're wondering, like, how the fuck did they win that game?
Right. Yeah, that's coming.
It's coming. Exactly. They'll play the Cowboys in the playoffs, and you're like, oh, we got Dak back. Finger Mountain.
Don't remind me.
And then we'll slide.
It's true, though.
Yeah,
it is.
No, it is.
Because
they pick up at the right time,
And, like, even right now, you look at it, like, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the scoreboard trying to see the other scores of these games, and I'm like, what the fuck? The Falcons are beating them. They're winning?
But if you go back to the show last week, I picked the 49ers, but what I said was the Falcons have been the Falcons could be 6-0 right now.
Yeah, they could be.
They're a bounce away from
played in some good games. They have played in some good games. And, battling, through injuries, Cordero Patterson is a great back. Now they're relying on guys like Tyler Algier and that Huntley kid. So, it's tough down there, but they're making it work with the pieces that they do have.
One question: is Cordero on season-ending IR, or he just?
No, just IR. I have him in fantasy. He's out for the next, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it might be 2 now.
Because I know 2. IR, you're automatically put out for 4 weeks. Season-ending IR is a different story.
Yeah, IR is 6.
Is it? I thought it was 4. Or it has to be at least 4, right?
It's 6, yeah, but I think you got to be out for 6 weeks. They might have changed it again because it was 8 at one time.
It was.
There's 2 different IRs because it used to be you're known for the season. That's when they put you on injury reserve. But we'll have to check up on that.
For sure. So let's also talk Monday Night Football. Patriots at home against the Bears. Patriots favored by 7.5. Mac might be coming back this week. We don't know.
Don't.
But, don't rush it. You know what I mean? Like
Zaptoberfest.
Zappy's playing well. The Bears are a mess, if you will. I mean, there should be no reason that they're trying to rush Mac back into this game. Just, prepare. Belichick will be ready at home. I mean, the Patriots, they play well at home. I can't help but think that this is going to be one of those games where the Patriots just look good, feel good, play good. What do you think, Bush?
Wait.
Yeah, I'm going to take New England here as well. They're on a roll right now. They're going up against a bad Bears team who just can't figure out a way to utilize Justin Fields and his strengths rather. It's a no-brainer for me. I'm going to take New England.
Go ahead, Charles.
You gotta look good, feel good, play good, eat good. Hold on, play good, play good.
Was that
Pay
Dion?
good, eat good, eat good. You want to die good. I'm picking the Patriots.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know where you were going with that, but okay.
So it was Dion, but he said Ben started. But you gotta give Coach Prime his props.
Did you see that altercation he got into post game? I think it was a week or two ago. Yeah.
I did.
I didn't know what the backstory was behind that exactly.
Yeah, if we can, we're under a little bit here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we got time.
But so the coach from the other team, I can't remember the team, and I'm sorry to that coach. Did not like that Dion, and then they talked a lot of stuff during the week, and then Dion during pregame didn't come and shake his hand. He walked around their warm-ups before the game, and then tried to shake his hand before the game. After the game, after they won, and the coach didn't want to do that. So Dion shook his hand and tried, you bring him in after the game, and the coach didn't want to, and Dion kind of
shoved them. Gotcha.
Yeah, but it was a thing. Like, I'm just bringing you in for love. It's a sport. That's what we do. I'm probably one of the best quarterbacks, number one quarterback of all time in the NFL, and I'm coaching this team. I'm bringing the NIL deals and all the things that are happening in college football right now. A lot of that has to do with Dion.
Absolutely, he's been very influential as far as that's concerned.
And we can say we weren't hearing about HBCU football teams before this.
Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah,
that coach was Eddie Johnson Jr. from Alabama State.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay.
He ain't swag. I'm swag.
That's what it was. Yeah, but yeah, you look at Dion's son. I believe his name is Sheeter. He just got signed by Shador. He just got signed by Brady Brand.
TB Tell.
So
wow.
Yeah, so
that's interesting.
All kinds of different stuff going on. I do really like what Dion's doing for Jackson State. I love Dion. I always have.
I know. So. And you know what? You weren't talking about HBCU colleges, and obviously I don't do this very often, but and I didn't go to a HBCU, but my sister does, and it's important for those colleges to get the same recognition as other colleges. So when you talk about Nick Saban was upset because Dion got one of the number one 5-star recruits this year.
Yep.
And I'm somebody that Saban would have gotten in normal years. That is important. Florida State is fucking calling this man calling his phone off the hook because they want him. But he's staying where he is, where he'll probably never be in the college football national the playoffs. But he's bringing these teams up. He's bringing the other teams up with him. So the coach from Alabama State, this guy's bringing us up with you. And he might understand him. He may feel that he was doing this before Dion came along, but the recognition matters because that's where the money comes from.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. No, certainly. I totally agree, man. Everybody deserves to, have their college put on the map, and it's a good thing for what Dion and everybody's doing, down there. Especially you look at some of the stuff like Last Chance U, very, very, very popular Netflix series, and you got these JUCOs and stuff like that. It's just go ahead.
And on a Last Chance U, I'm not going to talk about Coach Buddy, although I liked him those first 2 seasons. But if you follow Coach Brown or any of his social medias, for our fans who like the show, who want to dig deeper into football, period, he does a lot of breakdowns of some of these games and some of these plays. It'll help you learn the game of football a little bit more. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Ben. But
Yeah,
Coach
for
Brown
sure.
was on the 3rd season, so it was a different team. Can't remember. I think it was. I don't remember, but yeah.
For sure. So let's round out the week 7 picks here, kind of like we've been doing. We have not yet talked Falcons and Bengals, so let's go ahead and give a pick for that one. Bengals at home, favored by 6.5. Charles, your take. Bush, your take.
Yeah,
I'm going to take the Bengals.
I got the Bengals written down here.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think that the Falcons have the offensive firepower to keep up with Cincinnati. And, we saw what Burrow and Jamar Chase did last week. I mean, down in the Bayou again, that lethal combination, reliving some of their past championship games in New Orleans. So,
Yeah,
I think they're going to build off of that this week.
How about the way Burrow arrived to the stadium?
With the Jamar Chase jersey on. Yeah, that was pretty fresh. That was definitely pretty fresh.
Right. Yeah, I got to go Bengals as well, man. It's the safe pick. It's a good pick, if you will. I think it's not going to be one of those runaway games, like Charles said. The Falcons are they're holding their own. They're keeping it close in these games, and making it closer than that point spread shows. So let's go to a divisional game here: Colts and Titans. This one will be in Nashville, and the Titans are favored by 2.5. Bush, you have the Titans as that division winner. Are you confident in their abilities to go ahead and get it done against the Colts this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna take the Titans in this one. While the Colts are 3-2-1, I just don't see a lot of stability there with that team and that offense in particular. I mean, great comeback last week. I think Matty Ice was 42 of 58 for 389 yards and 3 touchdowns. But I think that the Titans are the better team. I think Derrick Henry had a great game against them the last time they matched up in Indy, and I only see that continuing.
Hell yeah. Charles, who you got this weekend?
Titans too.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked the Colts 2 weeks in a row, and it paid off for me both times. But I am going to roll with the Titans here this week. That's the safe pick. I like the Titans at home. I think this is going to be one of those Derrick Henry 150-yard, 2-touchdown type games where it's time for one of those. It's been brewing. So give me the Titans this weekend. How about Packers and Commanders from FedEx Field? Looks like a 5.5 point spread there. Who you guys got?
I'm going to take Green Bay. Now that Wentz is going to be out for the foreseeable future with a fractured right ring finger, even if Wentz was starting for them, I'm not going to take them. But yeah, Green Bay looks a little dysfunctional right now. Don't get me wrong. I think they have a lot of issues along that offensive line, and the Jets absolutely pummeled them all across the board. But I'm going to take the Packers. I know it doesn't look too good for them right now, but it doesn't really look too good for the commies either. So,
yeah. Hey, Taylor Heineke might be a better option at this point.
Yeah, maybe.
Charles, who you got, man?
Let me just say, what a fucking pussy. This guy's going to miss the Week 10 Eagles game. He doesn't want me to come there and boo him. If he isn't playing, I'm selling my fucking ticket. Fuck him. I'm going with Aaron One and done, though.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Actually, I want Taylor High. I'm going with Aaron One and done, but I want what I used to call him, you know who. And we haven't said it. I haven't said it since we've been going live, but fuck Aaron Rodgers.
There it was.
There it is.
We haven't heard that in a long, long time.
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
I was waiting for this guy to say, you know what? Give me the Commanders.
No.
Switch it up.
Although I think you're right. I think Heineke is better than going to be better than that little pussy. I'm just calling pussy.
Good thing this thing is marked as explicit, huh?
Oh yes,
That's definitely X-rated here.
All right, enough of that, Charles. I am going Packers as well. Let's go Tampa, Carolina. Carolina's a mess. Tampa's favored by 10.5. We know what happened last time they were. they're getting favored. Real, these point spreads are major, but I think it'll be a little bit closer than that.
I got Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's my pick as well. I don't see the Panthers giving the Bucks a run for their money here. Bush, let's hear it for that 5th seed Panthers pick.
No, that's actually going to make 3 of us on this one. I'm going to take the Bucks. But however, next week I think we should talk about the verbal spanking Brady gave his offensive line there on the sideline.
I heard what he said.
I heard it too. You could hear it through the audio, and I think he said something to the effect of, "You guys are so much better than how you're fucking playing," and that was all I heard.
Oh,
but
that's not what I heard. I like my fucking wife. For you fucking guys, she's not in my house. I'm alone because of you.
He fucking hates the fact that he lost to Kenny Pickett. I can tell you that right now. He is not happy about that.
How do you think the flight from Pittsburgh to Tampa was?
Wait, he's okay with losing to Kenny Pickett. He's not okay to lose to Mitch Trubisky. I lost to fucking Mitch.
His voice does get high. I do have to say that. But I think that's a discussion for next week.
Go again.
We're all rolling Tampa Bay this week. Let's go Browns and Ravens from Baltimore. I can't help but think we're all on the Ravens this week as well.
I'm going Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens as
well. Baltimore.
Let's go Baltimore. That's what you said last week, Charles, and I was with you, and it didn't go well.
It didn't work out because, first of all, let me just backtrack to that game because we didn't talk about it. Lamar, who the fuck forces a ball to somebody who's wearing a number that starts with 4? You don't force a ball to somebody that's wearing the 40s. You saw that shit out of bounds. Stupid ass. You don't force a ball to a fullback. And I got a little fullback. That was my shit.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I like Patrick Ricard, but
yeah, not your best 3rd and long option. Sorry.
No, not exactly. So we're all on the Ravens hype train this week. Oh, Jesus, let's not even talk about this one. Jets, Denver. Anybody taking the shitty Broncos? Who you got?
Man, I'm taking the Jets. Fuck the Broncos.
There it is.
Disaster of an organization.
Charles, you're on mute, buddy. What do you got to say?
Jets, Jets. Bronco country. Let's fly in the jet.
That was clever.
I am going to roll.
It was almost as corny as Russell Wilson.
Yeah, because that's something he'd fucking say. No question about it.
Hey, I'm going Denver. Fuck the Jets. No. I'm not picking the damn Jets, nor do I want to pick Denver. Hell, give me a like, how we have right here the and one. Give me like a 4th column there for undecided picks because this is a tough one. But give me Denver. I like them at home. Jets got to get off their fucking high horse of winning 3 games straight. Let's go Texans, Raiders from Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. Raiders favored by 7. Charles, your take on this one, man.
The Raiders. And the word of the great Chris Berman. They had a bye week. They better fucking win. The Texans had a bye week too. I love Lovey, but I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Yeah, both of them coming off a bye week, man. So it's one of those ones it's like, damn, if you're Josh McDaniels, you need this. So, Bush, you're going Raiders as well?
I'm going to take the Raiders as well because they need to win this game if they're going to get back into the AFC West. There's no question about it. I know it's against the Texans, but still, every game counts.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it too. Is like, I don't want to let the Texans win over the Jags, make me make any decisions that I'm going to regret later. So let's roll with Josh and the Raiders. I know that they got to get back on track here. I like that it's at home. So give me the Raiders. Let's talk some Seahawks and Chargers from LA. Chargers favored by 6.5.
Los Angeles Superchargers. It don't sound as good as San Diego Superchargers.
God, I
I'm
remember
going with the
that.
Chargers.
Yeah. Got to go Chargers as well. It's a safe pick. I like that they're at home as well. But, I can see the Seahawks hanging around. What do you think, Bush?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers. I think the Seahawks are going to make it a game because, Geno Smith's playing at a pretty high level right now. But maybe they get Keenan Allen back healthy this week, and that changes the way that offense looks a little bit more. Considering they did kick 4 field goals last night, and they had plenty of opportunity to turn that around. So I'm going to take the Chargers.
Right. And the last one that we got here is Steelers and Dolphins Sunday Night Football from Miami. Dolphins favored by 7, but I wouldn't sleep on the Steelers, man. I think they're going to have a little pushback here. I think Tomlin, gets those boys prepared and, coming in there off of a big win against Brady and crew. I think the Steelers might have a chance here. What do you guys think?
So, are you going to pick the Steelers? Who you picking?
Ben has never done this before.
Listen, this is just look at the two teams in this matchup, guys. This is why I need that fourth column.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But think about it. Tagovailoa is starting. Concussion guy is starting. He should be. But the Steelers, I said to y'all before that I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to have a losing season. Shout out to Allison. She might be watching. My Dean of Student Life, Allison. Dean Volio. And she's a Steelers fan, and she's like, I don't know if we're going to have a winning season. They've never had a winning season and her losing season in her life, and she's older than all of us. I'm going to pick the Steelers.
I'm going Steelers as well, man. I don't like the fact that it's in Miami, but he's scribbling it out. He had the Dolphins picked.
No, I just wrote it down. This was, you can see it here. I did not have anybody picked. I just wrote it out. So,
I got you.
I mean, Charles, to be completely fair, you have been notorious for flipping the switch at the last minute here.
So you can see earlier when I was going to flip the switch, I did write Cardinals, and I crossed out Cardinals, and I circled Saints.
I respect the fact that you're
a little bit of APA grammar, how you fix things. That's how you do it.
For sure.
Marlene Lang taught us well, right?
That's my favorite fucking English teacher.
Shout out to Marlene Lang, bro.
That's my favorite English teacher. I would not. My staff hates me because of Marlene Lang.
Listen, let's not get too in depth here. This is for some after the show talk here.
Yeah, fair enough. I couldn't help but throw that one.
What's that? You simulating her huffing and puffing? Come on,
dude. That poor lady. Oh my god.
She's
great.
So bring it back here. Charles and I on the Steelers. I don't like it, but I'm gonna roll with it. Bush, give us your take on this one, man. Let's finish out the show.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. I think that they've got a lot to prove, and they're an underdog in this one. And I think we all know how they play when their backs are up against the wall. So I'll take the Steelers as well.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly, man. It's a little bit of a skid here for the Dolphins. I would even venture to say, hot take here, but I might even say that the Dolphins this year are what the Panthers were being touted as last year.
Yes,
remember that?
An excellent comparison.
Remember they were 3-0 playing against
no Panthers.
Remember they were 3-0 going in and playing Dallas, and it's like, oh, Sam Darnold, and it's like, come on.
We came back and whooped the shit out of them. Yeah,
y'all beat the shit out of them.
I remember that.
Yeah, no. Charles, they were 3-0 and they finished the year 5-12. So
wow, I don't they went 5. Somebody went 5-0. Oh, the Cardinals. They went like 9.
The Cardinals went 10-0.
They went 10-0,
and then lost 7 straight.
Yeah, Ben. I think they went 11-6 last year.
Oh,
but
yeah,
to your point, even
7.
still, to your point, yeah.
To lose 6 of 7, it's like, oh my god,
brutal.
Yep. But all right, we are all on the Steelers for Sunday Night Football. there is a last look at the Week 7 matchups. It is Tuesday, so it is tough to make these picks so early, but I don't foresee anything changing here throughout the rest of the week. You might see some of those lines change, but regardless, we appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Bump and Run podcast. Go ahead and follow us on social media at @bump_and_run_pod. We'll have some bets posted up there this weekend, some of our picks and things like that we're rolling with. But until next time, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Bump and Run podcast.